Today's anime review, I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, a tear-jerking film about love and terminal illness. Don't forget to subscribe for daily spoiler-free anime reviews covering series on Fridays and movies or OVAs the rest of the week. I Want to Eat Your Pancreas begins similarly to Grave of the Fireflies, revealing one of the main characters' death, then rewinding to depict the events leading up to it. The story begins when Haruki notices a forgotten book on the floor of a hospital waiting room, so of course, being an avid reader and librarian, he couldn't help but pick it up and see what it was. To his surprise, he found the forgotten journal of his classmate Sakura, but even more surprising, she had written of a terminal illness giving her less than a year to live. As Sakura returns for her journal, she spots Haruki with it. Realizing he knows her big secret, she decides to befriend him. Haruki is a total introvert and loner with no friends, so there's likely no better person to keep her secret anyways. Sakura is his polar opposite, a charismatic and cheerful extrovert. You can probably imagine where the story goes from here. I've seen my fair share of anime where a beautiful woman throws herself at a lonesome protagonist for no apparent reason. I don't mind fan service or escapism fantasies, but this movie came off as completely different due to its realistic atmosphere. I honestly felt uncomfortable for much of the movie because it's clear that Haruki felt pressured into being her friend due to these grave circumstances. Additionally, Sakura came off as slightly manipulative despite her innocent and kind-hearted nature. Fortunately, Haruki eventually warms up to her and their time together becomes much more wholesome and meaningful, but unfortunately we know what ultimately happens, so sadly this happiness is short-lived. I appreciated that the movie is more about friendship than romance. There's a certain innocence associated with it, and it pushes the message that you should never take anyone in your life for granted because they could be gone at any moment. I also enjoyed Haruki's character development as he begins to open up and trust people. However, I won't say to what extent he develops because I consider his personal journey to be spoiler territory since Sakura's death is already revealed early on. My overall experience with the movie is mixed. On an emotional level, it's one of the hardest hitting anime movies I've ever seen. However, I think it should have been about 20 minutes longer to make the most out of their time together. Instead, we get a slideshow of them hanging out. Additionally, Sakura is considered a very popular girl, but she's really open and loud about her big secret in the library for everyone to hear. Furthermore, the scene with Haruki and Sakura's mom towards the end could have been written better and came off as awkward and unrealistic. While I expected its ending to be predictable due to its introduction, I was surprised because it wasn't at all how I expected it to be. I also enjoyed its brief after-story depicting Haruki's life after Sakura's death, and it was actually one of my favorite scenes in the movie. Overall, I give I Want to Eat Your Pancreas an 8.5 out of 10. While my emotional experience was slightly superior to other anime movies I've recently reviewed, like A Silent Voice, it had a few glaring narrative flaws preventing it from reaching its full potential. Additionally, its target audience is clearly male-centric due to the imbalance of perspective. If this were a 6-episode OVA or 12-episode series that equally depicted both characters' perspectives, I could see this being a 10 out of 10. Regardless of its imbalance of perspectives, I consider this a movie everyone will enjoy to varying degrees. However, if you really enjoyed this movie and want more, I recommend checking out its 10-chapter light novel. I enjoyed the movie enough to check it out. It details the bulk of the story to a slightly greater extent, but its after-story contains its biggest differences. If you love this movie, then you'll want to read the entire novel, but if you're just curious about its full ending, you can start at chapter 9. What did you think of I Want to Eat Your Pancreas? Like the video if you enjoyed it and share with a friend so that they can be moved by this touching experience. Thanks to Nia-chan and all of my monthly supporters on Patreon and YouTube for making these videos possible. I'll see you tomorrow with my review of Dr. Slump Movie 1.